In this video, I'm going to show you how to come up with what you're going to offer a homeowner that is looking to sell their property. This formula that I will share will ensure you buy the property right so you can make quick cash. And after showing you this formula, I will also show you how to take your offer amount and figure out where to start your negotiation based on the situation the property is in. This is my flipping houses quick cash formula. So let's walk through the deal analysis. There are four numbers that you see here on the screen. Number one thing that you're usually going to know is the asking price. What the motivated seller, what the homeowner, what the bank, what the individual who's selling that property, the person that inherited it, whatever the case may be, you're going to know what they're asking in a lot of cases. Not all the time, but in most. You also have the after repair value. And in this example, we're going to use $150,000. Rehab on this transaction, $25,000. And our desired profit is $30,000. Now, whenever you're doing your deal analysis for an assignment, the profit margin depends 100% on the investor. A lot of the investors that I've seen are looking for a minimum of 20% in today's market, but that also depends on the investor that you're interacting with and what marketplace that they're getting involved in as well. So you have to know their profit margins. In this example's case, is 20%, and that's the key in building that database of buyers. Is putting all of those pieces together, and it puts you in a position where once you have all those pieces together, it's real easy to analyze a deal based on what your database of buyers is looking for. Here are all the different numbers that we have that you need to analyze a deal. Whenever I'm going through the analysis process, the first number that you're going to start with is the after repair value. I always start with the end in mind. My main goal in this transaction is to assign the transaction, and I'm going to assign it as a flip. Okay, as a property they can buy, fix, and resell. This is the type of deal analysis that you'll do to flippers. If you're flipping properties to, let's say, people who are looking for cash flow deals, that's a completely different analysis. It's going to be out of the spectrum of this particular video, but it's a completely different analysis on doing the numbers. So we'll take you through this real quick. After repair value is $150,000. The first thing that I always go in and take out is a desired profit. We told you from the first slide our desired profit's $30,000, so we'll subtract $30,000 from that $150,000. The next number I'll subtract is a rehab. This depends on the condition of the property and what my contractors have said the rehab's going to be. And typically on rehabbing a transaction, I'll get 3 contractor bids on the deal, and pick who the best contractor is to work with, and that's not always determined based on the price when I'm rehabbing. The beautiful thing about assignment deals is you can go in and start qualifying a power team or interacting with contractors, although you're not doing the rehab on the transaction. So you're interviewing them and going through the process of getting bids on an assignment, but your end buyer is usually going to be the one that is going to do the rehab, okay? But just some quick and easy ways to go out and get access to how much it's going to cost you to rehab it if you don't have the knowledge base and skill set to go in and inspect the properties on your own. The next number that we have is the funding cost. This all depends on the type of buyer that you're dealing with. Some buyers are cash buyers, no real funding cost. This is one where if you're taking notes right now, what I would do is just put an asterisk by it. Not all the time do I include it because I don't know how the investor is going to be funding the transactions. I put it in here just as an example of all the different things that you're going to have to account for whenever buying, fixing, and reselling a property. So funding cost is one of them, and it depends on how many points and interest that investor is going to pay on the back end. But again, whenever I'm assigning a deal, not necessarily something I'm going to include. Depends on the situation, depends on my relationship with the investor, those types of things. You're also going to subtract your closing costs, and your closing costs are going to be, fees for just your normal closing, title insurance, your property insurance, those types of things. Depending on, the property, it may be more or maybe less. In this example's case, it's only $2,700. So we subtract our closing costs, whatever we've negotiated that we're going to be paying in that transaction, your transfer fees, your recording fees, all of that stuff that you have to pay usually as a buyer, but everything is negotiable. The next one is the holding costs, and the holding costs I subtract $3,000. How I calculate my holding costs, I just put a ballpark $500 in. $500 typically will cover all of my utility bills, electric, water bill, gas bill, those types of things while the rehab's being done. And then I'll add on half of the year taxes because I plan on holding it for 6 months. So half of the year taxes and also half of the year's insurance, the insurance that I have to pay, the premium that I have to pay on that transaction. So I'll use 6 months worth of that and be expecting to get 6 months of it back depending on what's what. The next one is a realtor fees. This is another one where sometimes I don't necessarily insert it whenever I'm doing an assignment of contract. And the main reason being it depends if that end user is going to be using a realtor to resell their property. And if so, the realtor is going to charge them that 6% of that $150,000. So you're looking at $9,000 in that realtor's fees cost. You'll then have the assignment fee, and that assignment fee is, in this example's case, I put in $5,000. You can put in $10,000, you can put in $20,000, you can put in $30,000 as an assignment fee. Typically, I've seen assignment fees anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. It can be more depending on what's what, but it also depends on how much that investor is willing to pay you for it. So the equity offer price on this transaction is $73,300. That's the maximum we can offer on this transaction to get our $5,000 profit on the deal. So $73,300, and the asking price on the transaction based on the slides was $89,000. You know, in that case, typically what I'll do, especially when it has to do with motivated sellers, and something my mentors always told me, is I go in and make an embarrassing offer. Embarrassing $73,300 is the equity offer price or maximum I can pay in order to get that $5,000. I might go in at $50,000, roughly 60% of what my equity offer price is, all depending on the situation. Now, if I'm dealing within REO properties, and as I mentioned in some of my videos that you might have seen on my website or even in this one, you know, when it's listed on the MLS, it's sort of like a feeding frenzy. So in that case, I'm not going to go in and start out with a $50,000 offer because there's more competition. But when this is a property that I'm dealing with that's off the market, key thing is off the market, this is something where I can be a little bit more flexible, and I can start out at 50 and I can always come up, and that puts me in the position where I'm able to get it under contract. And when you're doing these deals and putting together these assignment of contracts and doing the deal analysis, one thing to be aware of as you're starting this business is marketing your business the right way.
If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, first things first, like us on Facebook, then subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit our website to get on our mailing list for access to more great content. Thank you for joining us and watching our video, and we'll see you next time.